Jason, shepherd from China House Church. I had the opportunity to go to Shepherd's Conference this past week with all of the other shepherds, and I'm thankful that I have experienced it this year as well, as it was a time of encouragement and learning for me personally. To start off, I'm very thankful for Danny. I did hear that he shared about me last week. Everything is true. So, but if you don't know, then you can ask me, and then I can tell you in detail. But anyways, I'm thankful for Danny because he offered to drive, knowing my work schedule and the longer shifts that I had to work before going to the Shepherd's Conference. So I was able to sleep while we were going to Houston. And he would drive every day for us, including going back and forth between hotel and coming back up to Dallas. So I'm very thankful for Danny and actually all the shepherds who drove back and forth, because it's not easy to do it with the packed schedule that we had there. And during the conference, I was thankful that we were assigned to small groups, because through this small group, we were able to get to know the shepherds from different churches. So one of my hopes going into this conference was that I will get to know and connect with different shepherds from different places and be encouraged by one another. And I was actually very blessed to have our small group because everyone was very vulnerable and they shared their struggles, and we had a time to really pray for one another. And because of that, our group took longer to finish. And I feel bad for Danny because he would wait for me like 20, 30 minutes because he gave me rides. But I mean, I'm sure, he understands. And nonetheless, I'm very grateful for my small group, for the fellowship, and the encouragement that we got. It was also really fascinating to see how different each church can be due to the geographical difference and different life stages that people are in, and just the different people that they have. So, for example, one church from the West Coast, so they had a lot of VIPs because of the people that they're, because of the geographical location, because there are a lot of non-religious people compared to here in the Bible Belt. So he would share that there's actually more VIPs than actually the church members in the house church. And another church has a lot of people who had some kind of PTSD or heard from a previous church that they had gone to. So it was really interesting to see how every church is going through different things, but also able to see how God is working in unique ways in every church. And personally, it was a big encouragement to realize that God is working throughout the whole nation by using the house church ministry, and that we're not doing this alone, but that we're doing this all together with other shepherds around the world. And aside from that, there were breakout sessions that were led by more experienced shepherds. And one of the breakout sessions that I went to was led by Timothy Kim from NLF. And the session was about where to find VIPs, how to reach out to them, etc. And one thing that he said that spoke to me a lot is that it can't be just one or two people serving, but instead, when everyone serves the VIPs, they open up more to accepting Christ. So, and Tim said that with his own experience as a shepherd leading the house church. And when I heard that that really made a lot of sense to me, because as a newcomer and a VIP, I don't think they would want to come to house church again when they don't feel welcomed or when they don't feel that it is a good community for them. And if they only see one or two people serve, I'm not sure. Maybe they will think that they see Jesus in them. But honestly, I'm not sure if they would think of it as a good community. So we, as Christ followers, who has the calling to bring salvation to the ends of the earth, I think it makes sense that we can go an extra step to make our VIPs feel welcomed and make our house church a friendly and loving community for them. So that's what I have learned from the breakout session, and hopefully I can put it into action instead of just thinking. But I also want to encourage all of you guys to reflect as Christ followers, whether you have made that extra step to make our VIPs feel welcomed, or that extra step to make a loving community in our house church to reflect Jesus' love. When we do that one more thing, when we make that one extra step, whether it be smiling, giving a ride, or praying for them, it could be something that opens up their hearts to Christ. So, why not? I think we can do it. And another thing that spoke to me a lot during this conference is when Pastor Chai questioned us if we bear the marks of Christ's suffering. So after he said that, he shared about how he is an introvert and how he doesn't like disputes and arguments. So in his early days of being a pastor, he would avoid being involved in ministries that could potentially have a lot of conflicts. But when he read Galatians chapter 6, verse 17 of Paul bearing the marks of Christ's suffering, it made him realize that he was trying to follow Jesus, but at the same time trying to go through the easy paths only. So that was his turning point in life. And when he said that, that made me think, do I have the marks of Christ's suffering? I think I do have some marks, a little bit, but I don't think I have that much. So I resonated a lot with what Pastor Chai shared, because I too am an introvert, and I also want to avoid conflicts if possible, and I don't want to have too many sufferings in my life, to be honest. But his sermon made me think that maybe I'm a little too afraid of having sufferings in my life, because after all, through suffering, we become more like Jesus. So my prayer after the conference is that I won't be too afraid to have sufferings, as it is a good opportunity for me to grow, and also for me to have the boldness to face the conflicts with love if needed, if it is good for the house church and the church. Now, if you're opposite of me, I think it is easier. I think this same verse can come to you differently. So if you're opposite of me, and if it is an easier path for you to face the conflict, then maybe your way of bearing Christ's suffering is to be more patient and to be more loving instead of facing the conflict. So it may be different for everyone depending on who you are, but I think that is what I have learned from the sermon, and hopefully this is something that is a verse that is special to you as well. And with all that, someone might ask, why become a shepherd when you are having to serve more, love someone that is hard to love, and potentially suffer more? And PD said this during his sermon. in the conference that you're actually receiving so much more than you give. I'm not sure if I fully understand the extent to which I have received from God as much as PD understands. But through the few years of shepherding, I think I am slowly getting to know the joy of serving and the joy that comes from shepherding. So I'm hoping that as time moves on, I will be able to understand and realize more in depth the extent to which I have received from God. And I'm sure that I will be able to experience it as long as I abide with Him. To conclude my testimony, since we receive so much more than we give, I hope that many more people in our church will be able to experience this together. So maybe next year, more people can come together. And my hope is that all of our house church members, China house church members, actually including the previous China house church members, can come to the Shepherds Conference together in the future. And that's it. Thank you.